Okay, guys, we got some big news happening here. Blizzard is coming in heavy, and we have been seeing this, guys, across YouTube. Many of the World of Warcraft YouTubers have been pushing this agenda in the last couple of weeks, especially in the past couple of days. Especially some of the bigger YouTubers who are mostly accountable and who have been associating closely with Blizzard in past years, regarding Classic. They have been pushing this agenda and bringing this out to public that Classic Plus is on the way, ladies and gentlemen, and this is big news. First of all, the big news here is that there's no Cataclysm Plus coming. There's no Cataclysm Classic on the way, which is in itself big news because a lot of people were hoping and hopeful that Lich King progresses into Cataclysm Classic. And I think one of the reasons, or one of the bigger reasons why they wanted this to happen, guys, is because of all the progress they had going through Classic Vanilla, Classic TBC, and then Classic Lich King. They want to keep this and they want to progress into Cataclysm just to relax at the end of the road and to be those kind of people who still, they kind of benefit another year or 2 years out of that expansion, with all the effort that they invested into the game. So they were hopeful for the whole Cataclysm Classic incentive. But most people who played Classic Era were not hopeful that Blizzard would invest anything, no time whatsoever, into Cataclysm Classic. There's no demand for this kind of expansion or this kind of direction in their release. So we're very happy. At least I am very happy, and I think I represent a lot of people when I say this. Very, very happy about the direction of Blizzard of not going towards the direction of Cataclysm Classic. Very, very good. Second big thing, they got back Chris Metzen. Now, guys, Chris Metzen is one of the guys, some people were trying to associate him with all the drama that happened in Blizzard in the last years, but guys, that's wrong. The guy was reserved. He was drawn back. He was not involved with the bad guys who had their BlizzCon behind the scenes shady rooms where they did their shady agenda, and they would invite some specifically chosen visitors at BlizzCon to go to these back rooms to do God knows what. Chris Metzen was not part of that, and when he knew about this, he was disgusted and repelled. He was repulsed by this kind of behavior, and he didn't reveal exactly what it was, but he was not a participant in these shady activities. As a matter of fact, he left Blizzard before it became hot, before heat became very hot in Blizzard. He left the company. That means he left the company before getting caught. Guys, if this talks about the integrity of the person, it means the person has a very high level of integrity. It means he left it without any public pressure to do so. He didn't come out and apologize after everything blew up and after the public pressure kind of forced his hands to do so. No. He left the company before there was even any kind of pressure, because he didn't want to associate with these kinds of things. And that talks to the integrity of the person. Now, second of all, Chris Metzen has a reputation in the video gaming industry. He's a person who has a reputation on the line. He will not associate with a project that seems to be doomed. So Blizzard have been working on Classic Plus for quite a while. It's safe to assume. They presented it to him. Now, they didn't get him because they needed his direction in terms of what to add in the game whatsoever. They needed a face. They needed a new face, somebody who comes on stage, who is beloved, who people like, and who has that kind of spirit that Blizzard had in the past whenever he would show up on BlizzCon. My God, he would show up and he would present Warlords of Draenor, and we would be excited as if it would be the best expansion ever to be released, just because he would be on stage and he would be able to promote this kind of game, even though it was trash. It was absolute trash, right? We all agree on that, So this guy has something special. So they got him because he is special in terms of they need a new face for the company. They got normal face. They have normal face. The people either left the company because they were fired, or because administration at Blizzard somehow force them to hand in their resignation somehow, just like Mike Birmingham, the guy who was responsible for Lich King. So they ended up with nobody from these old folks who were the most popular with the community. And that's unfortunate for Blizzard. So they got this guy back, and he would not agree to come back unless he saw that there's potential, unless he understood that, okay, there is something going on here, okay, this makes sense. I'm not going to destroy my reputation by coming back, associating with this project in this direction that they're going. I agree to this. And of course, because of the money. But guys, money is not everything that speaks. We try to act like we're smart. We try to act like, we understand, the kind of politics. Oh, he's doing it because of the money. Oh, search for the money and then you find the answers. It's true most of the times. But in these sectors specifically, other factors play a role as well. He's associating with a company that's just coming out of a very nasty lawsuit with nasty allegations that nobody wants to associate with. And I'm sure he can get paid off much better elsewhere. Consulting jobs, whatsoever, the horizon is broad. But going back to that place, it's risky. So it's a good sign. It's a very good sign that he's doing it. The fact that I'm doing this video and making this analysis about this already shows that Blizzard somehow did the right decision by doing that, because they're stirring up this kind of discussion, right? They're stirring up this kind of discussion within the community that, why did they get him back? Is he actually convinced about it? What is he going to do, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. I don't think he's going to add anything to the direction of the game. I think they know exactly what they want. They want Classic to be a game that keeps players involved in Classic through their subscriptions, etc. Now, don't tell me Microsoft bought them out, etc., etc. I know, I understand that. But let's try to see their perspective, and let's see how they would try to convince us about their perspective. So they want to keep us engaged in this game, and people have been asking for this. People ask for Season of Mastery comes out. People ask for Hardcore comes out. People ask for TBC comes out. People ask for Lich King comes out. Nobody asks for Cataclysm except for that small community of players who farmed their lives in Classic until now. Cataclysm does not come out, but Classic Era players, who are bunch of them, there's a lot of Classic Era players are asking for Classic Plus because they finished the content. They get Classic Plus. It's the demand that plays a role here, ladies and gentlemen, and this is big. Not to mention that they will be adding their tricks, their intricate tricks into Classic Plus. They will be adding the token, etc., and all these kind of things that we don't like, but we're still going to play the game because that's what we do, right? We don't agree what they do, but we still play it because we have no pride. We have we have no self-honor. We have no spine, and we have no what do they call it? Community of there's a name for this for these kind of communities. We don't have this. That's what I'm trying to say. We don't have this representation. We don't have this sternness. We're just a customer. We're just a consumer who likes to consume. And whenever we say we will not consume, that's when we consume the most. We like to pretend like we have a standard that we go by, and we're not giving you our money, just like we do it in politics when we refuse to give someone our vote. But in reality, we cannot stop playing this game. Whether it's on their public official server or in private server, we're always going back to it. That's just the truth about it, ladies and gentlemen. And they know it. They kind of know it, right? If this hurts your pride, I understand that. It hurts my pride as well, but this is an objective observation of what it will be. You got people like Alex Sensual. They were fighting against this. They knew this would have happened. They knew the direction. They understood this. People like Alex Sensual. But people don't like that. People don't like the rebel. They don't like the guy who is rebelling and has no alternative. He has nothing else to offer. He doesn't have his Alex Sensual private server that's clean and fantastically run, and no bots and no GDKPs and no whatsoever. He doesn't have this. He's just disagreeing, but he has no alternative, right? So nobody likes to associate with that. Nobody likes it. Everybody is hopeful that the official version of the game is going to be a good game with its integrity, and they're going to respect our wishes. No changes whatsoever, just surgical changes. We all saw how that went, right? TBC comes out, they act like they're crazy. They act like they have some kind of amnesia. They release a new mount into the game. Wow, that's just unbelievable. And they're going to keep on doing that. Classic era is not going to be Classic Plus is not going to be an exception. However, they will try to make up for it, but with the content, because now they know they are announcing something new, so they have to give you something new as well. So they can't just make an announcement that they will be releasing something new and then not release something new. So they will be releasing something new. So here are my predictions for what they're going to add. Guys, 2 items were in the PTR for the 1.4 patch that came out just recently which had a lot of controversy. 2 items were in the PTR of that patch that did not make it to the live version: a rank 14 belt and a rank 14 bracer. These 2 items were in the PTR, and they did not make it into the live version. Now, ladies and gentlemen, this is my opinion. This is my opinion, and I think I'm not wrong here when I say this, but they designed 2 items, they added them into the game, into the PTR, but did not add them into the live version, which means they were delayed for a later version of the game. Come on. This is common sense. So this is a prediction which I'm fairly sure of, which is going to happen. Let's go into predictions that are less confirmed, or more or less, just conjecture. There's going to be a new raid, guys. There's going to be a new raid in the game, which is not going to be a 40-man raid. They're going to take some of the aspects of the newer versions of Classic, and they're going to implement them, especially the things that they think are desirable, like LFG and smaller raid groups. So they're going to add, I think, something like the Emerald Dream or something like that. They've been hinting about this for quite a while. It makes sense because it's been having some appearances in retail, so it makes sense to kind of link and bridge, oh, look at this, go try retail, By the way, we got a better version of it in retail, go try maybe something of that sort. So I'm thinking about the Emerald Dream or something of that, because people were hoping for this for quite a long time, and they never really had it. They had some Legion attempts of the Emerald Dream whatsoever, but nothing really bombarded. And I think they were going to try it this time with Classic Plus. And they're going to add a new tire set into the game. And not just that, they're going to be having Arena. Arena is going to be an addition into Classic Plus, ladies and gentlemen. Now, not everything is going to be happening at the same time. Arena is going to happen for sure, but maybe at a later point. They will be milking this project to the fullest. They're going to milk it very much. They're going to have to add something big, because Chris Metzen is coming out and he's going to announce this. So what is he going to announce? If it's just going to be lifestyle changes, if it's going to be user interface changes, you can't stand on BlizzCon. BlizzCon that was canceled for 3 years now or something like that. Now, this is the first time they were doing it in person since years, since COVID. He's going to come out. He's going to announce Classic Plus for what? For no raid, for no big PvP changes, which are the 2 main core components of the game. What else do you have in the game? You got nothing. So he's going to talk about those 2 things. Those 2 things are going to be addressed: dungeon, raid, PvP. So it just makes sense that this is going to be an addition in the game. Now, here's something that I'm going to say, which is going to be controversial. Transmogs. Something about transmogs, and something about linking transmogs to the WoW token and making it restricted. So transmogs, not like in retail, not the same way as you have the wardrobe in retail. No, think about a very primitive version of a transmog, something that would be difficult and hard and grindy, something that you'd have to grind for. You have to pay for with either your time or with actual money to get maybe an item that drops from a raid, from this Emerald Dream raid, that you can use to apply one transmog onto one piece of your armor that's going to stay, and you cannot, it's a consumable, so you can just do it once and that's it. It disappears. It's like something that drops at the end of the raid, like the phylactery of Naxxramas whatsoever. I can see how people would go crazy on this. People would definitely love this, especially if it's something that's very restricted and rare. Imagine something that only works, like for example, two-handed weapons, only applicable for other two-handed weapons of the same item level, for example. Maybe, item level, maybe they're going to add this into the game, or tire sets, a shoulder appearance, it has to be something from the same tire set, maybe, something that is restricted and hard to get and very grindy and farmy. They're probably going to add this, guys. I think so. Now, regarding arena and all these kind of things, I think they're heading towards this direction because they've been focusing on the PvP. They've been revamping the honor system, but I don't think that's going to be enough for them. I think they're going to add. They kind of eliminated the competitive aspect of PvP with the new honor system. So now PvP is kind of non-competitive in a way, because now you're competing with nobody. You're competing with yourself. You just have to get that amount of honor, and then you rank up. In the past, it was competitive. You have to compete against other people on the server. You have to get your honor. It doesn't matter if you get 1,000,000 honor. If you're still the last or at the bottom of the bracket, you're not going to rank up. So there is a competitive aspect and element which was removed. So they have to get that back in. But they're not going to do it via BGs. They're going to do it via Arena, because Arena makes more sense for them to be a competitive environment that is more controlled, more refined, and has more grindy options in terms of seasons. Give them a short season, let them grind it out, make sure that nobody reaches the end of it, nobody reaches the tabard at the end of the season whatsoever, so they try again the next season, etc., and that's how you get people playing. So I'm sure they analyzed the factors that kept people playing retail for a very long time, and one of those factors was arena seasons. Arena seasons has been a thing since the Burning Crusade, and it never stopped. It's one of the things that stayed constant in WoW, with minimal changes. The idea has remained the same. Get that amount of rating in arena, you get the reward at the end of the season. The reward gets removed from the game. Everybody goes crazy. So that's one factor that is a grasping factor to the game, that they will most likely add to the game to keep players engaged for the longest period of time. Now, thank God Cataclysm Classic is not, they're not heading towards that direction. I think they're going to keep it as a reserve in the future. They will probably come back in the future and address this when things get a bit dry and people stop engaging much more in Classic Plus. That's when they're going to release Cataclysm, and then they're going to release another raid for Classic Plus again, and so forth. Just like the same strategy they've been doing with Lich King and Classic Era, something of that, similarly to that, between Lich King and retail. Whenever something comes out in retail, Lich King has nothing, then Lich King has something, retail has nothing, etc. So they keep players engaged across the whole atmosphere or hemisphere of Blizzard games whatsoever. Guys, my predictions, I think I'm going to be right. If you have the urge to say that I'm wrong, then ask yourself why you have that urge and that defensive feeling that you want to prove me wrong before you start commenting. Guys, like, share, subscribe, whatsoever. Do all these kind of things, to get this video out there. Thanks, guys, for watching, and see you guys next time. Bye-bye.